G'day guys, my name is Wildkard, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for following my contents, I really do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button down below if you would like to support me. Otherwise, let's talk about this game. Second game, Super Rugby Round 12, the Queensland Reds versus the Highlanders. This is a game that I guess the Queensland is really, once again, exposed two major weaknesses. One, the Reds is out of ideas without James O'Connor. This has been an issue that the Reds has had in the last few rounds now since James O'Connor has been injured. Secondly, the Reds is unable to hold on to a lead and finish strong. This has been a consistent issue this season, even with James O'Connor, and it's exemplified in recent times when the Reds are playing against tough oppositions from across the ditch. And today, once again, the Reds came out with a quite easy head start over the Highlanders, and just like the game against the Hurricanes 2 weeks before, the Reds just completely slowly fell apart in the second half and was not able to close out the game despite having quite a tremendous lead early in the game. And there was a point where the Reds was playing against 13 Highlander players due to 2 yellow cards almost stacked on top of each other. Very soft yellow cards, we'll talk about that in a sec. And yeah, Reds was not able to close again. Brad Thor must be really unhappy and really showed a lot of weakness in the Reds team without James O'Connor. And I'm not sure what is going on with the Reds in terms of the consistency. This was not an issue last year where the Reds always finished strong. There were many games last year where the Reds were able to, even the year before, where the Reds were able to come back from behind to pull up an upset. But yeah, this year, not sure. There are obviously some changes to some of the players, but overall, I felt like the core leadership group of the Reds is falling a bit behind in terms of that mental toughness. Now, secondly, the yellow cards. There was 2 really soft yellow cards in this game. Nick Berry, I don't know. I think sometimes maybe let's just not criticize him, but there was 2 really soft yellow cards. There was one yellow card was very gentle, like basic, like shoulder kind of bump, and then the like shoulder to shoulder kind of hit, and it looked like the initial contact barely clipped the Reds prop on their face. That was the first yellow card, so that was probably just a penalty, to be honest. It was just really soft kind of stuff, 2 players running each other. It wasn't even like a tough collision. Second one as well, one of the Highlanders picked up the Reds player, and it looked like he realizes that he lifted up a bit too high, and he kind of just like put him down. And then, yeah, like again, that's probably just a penalty, not a yellow card. Nick Berry says that was a yellow card. Like, it was, to say that he was lifted him over the horizontal, it was like barely over the horizontal, and then it was hardly off the ground as well. He basically was like, he was basically hardly lifting up off the ground as well and just put him straight down essentially. Very soft, very like there was absolutely nothing in it. 2 yellow cards against the Highlanders in the first half. And Highlanders, like they did last week against the Fijian Endurers, was able to slowly but surely manage themselves in a position to win the game, which was really impressive. There is a man that I really wanted to call out, Fakatava, the reserve halfback for Aaron Smith, really pulled the team together in the second half and won the game based on his performance, individual performance. This was a performance that, yeah, this guy has such a huge future ahead of him. In a few years' time, this guy could be the best halfback in the world. He has some abilities that even Anton Dupont does not possess. This guy is, I can't imagine how good he can be in like 3 years' time. We have to wait and see, and if he continues to work hard, he has the abilities that I don't think I've ever seen a halfback have ever. So he has the ability to recognize at any given situation what his team needs in terms of a role for a position. So he will literally play as a fly half when he sees when he sees an opportunity to fulfill the role as a fly half. He'll literally fulfill a role as a forward. He'll literally turn the ball over at the breakdown with impeccable technique like a forward when he sees an opportunity, and he's able to run the ball like he's able to just fulfill any role that his team needs. He's able to identify the role that needs, that best suits his team, and execute that role, despite the fact that he's the halfback in, incredible fashion. He was so impressive. Like, there was one point where Mitchell Hunt was off the field and it looked like the Highlanders needs a bit more direction on the field. He literally filled in like a fly half. And there were times where you play like I think he set up a try. I think the Gregory try maybe. I can't remember. Maybe he was set up a break. But there was one point where he literally was at center position. He recognized there was an opportunity out wide to send his player through a gap. He literally played like a center, ran in, draw like, I think it was 1 or 2 defenders, got his one hand free, put the offload like a professional world-class center. And it was super impressive what he can do, just like the skill set. That thing that people, the centers do. Many centers in the world, actual centers who are still not able to master, the ability to take out 1 or 2 defenders, get that half break and still free out one hand to get the ball out. He was able to do that this game. And I was so impressed. And he was able to, obviously, we've seen him in the past, turn over the ball at the breakdown. And then also, he scored a try today, like a forward. He saw the gap in front of him, picked up the ball, barged himself through like a prop. And man, this guy could really be the best number 9 in the world in a few years. He will be better than Anton Dupont. He has abilities that Anton Dupont does not even possess. So he has, I hope the All Blacks give him some opportunities in the follow-up couple of years and really give him a chance to develop to his full potential. Like, this guy was so impressive. There was a point, there was just, incredibly impressive. So, in the end of the day, the stats, let's have a quick look. The Reds, 414 run meters in the end. Highlanders, 456. Just to give you an idea, right, how poorly the Reds went. Reds had 2 yellow cards in the first half against, had the advantage. So, the Highlanders had 2 yellow cards in the first half. So, Reds was playing against 13 players in the first half for like 5 minutes or something, and then played against, one player in the bin for about 15, maybe 15 minutes, right? So Reds had a huge advantage in the first half. Despite that, Reds had only 201 run meters to the Highlanders 224. So Highlanders had more run meters at halftime, despite having 2 players in the bin. The Reds was able to score 14 points, I think it was. 14 points in about 30 minutes. And in fact, he was able to score 14 points in about during the yellow card period, essentially. They were able to get ahead. The Reds were able to get ahead quite quickly. I can't remember exactly what time. We'll have a look at the full breakdown in a bit. But it was like Reds got themselves ahead, just like the Hurricanes game, and then just went, all right, let's see what we can. Let's just take the foot off the brake, off the pedal a little bit, and see what happens. And Highlanders actually had more run meters at halftime too. So defenders beaten at halftime, 5 to Highlanders to the Reds 4. So the Reds actually picked up more defenders beaten in the second half, more running game. Oh, actually no, the Highlanders actually had more defenders beaten at halftime. My bad. Highlanders had 12 defenders beaten at halftime. The Reds only had 9. So the Reds actually had more defenders beaten in the second half. Despite having 2 players in the bin. The tackle count, 148 for the Reds, 146 for the Highlanders. 18 missed tackles for the Reds, 27 Highlanders. Pretty similar overall. The kicking game was, the Highlanders really played the kicking game well in the second half. At halftime, there was only 11 kicks to the Reds, 10 to the Highlanders. Second half, you can see the Highlanders really took that kicking game by the throat and kept the Reds in check to close out the game. Something that they did really well as well against the Moana Pacifica. And Lionel lost 1 apiece. 1 scrum loss for the Reds, and penalties, 10 penalties on each side, but 2 really soft yellow cards against a Moana Pacifica. Just want to say the referees, right? The referees, I felt was really inconsistent. There were a few times where I thought there was questionable high shots I thought I saw, and there was no sanction. So really inconsistent there. And also, once again, the touch judges was really bad. There was one point where I think there was like a forward pass on the sideline, and before one of the players gets pushed out, the touch judge was literally standing right there. And then the fans in the stands start yelling, forward pass. And Nick Berry had to check with TMO to see that he was indeed a forward pass. And instead of a line out, he goes to a scrum. So what was the touch judge doing? He was just standing like right there. Like, did he have his eyes closed? Is that what you do now? Like, as a touch judge, just keep your eyes closed on the sideline? Like, it was so poor by the touch judge there. I thought it was just like a completely unnecessary waste of time. Like, the people from row 6 sitting in the stands saw this forward pass, and I was yelling at the referee, and, Nick Berry had a look with the TMO because the crowd was yelling. That was really poor by the referees overall. So yeah, let's quickly go through some of the key points in the game. So both teams actually came out with penalty opportunities less than 10 minutes into the game, and both teams missed both their penalties, quite easy kicks. So Crichton missed one and Mitchell Hunt missed one. And then 10 minutes into the game, first yellow card was issued to the Highlander player for, I would call it like a pretty gentle bump. I thought it was maybe a penalty at most. And then 6 minutes later after this, yellow card was given. Again, really soft lift tackle, puts the player down essentially. Nick Berry says too dangerous, yellow card. So 2 players in the bin in only 16 minutes into the game. Reds managed to score their first try on the 16th minute following this yellow card. So there was just some really good handling ball. Wilson sends the ball out of the back, gets the ball in center field. He kind of runs up, draws some. Lopez going to crash the ball, but instead he sends the ball out back to Crichton. Crichton gets the ball, quick hand to the wing. Campbell was there, and then just with overlap from the extra players on the field, Campbell runs through the sideline, gets the first try on the ball for the Reds. 5-0. The conversion was missed. The Highlanders really starting to try to manage the game at this point. On the 20th minute, Highlanders gets a 50-22. And then following this 50-22, they managed to force a penalty. So this was really good for the Highlanders, and the penalty was missed. Yeah, Mitchell Hunt was really struggling. So on the 28th minute, penalties start piling up again. Penalties are piling up again against the Highlanders. Despite the fact that at this point, I think both the yellow cards are back. So the penalties are piling up. The Reds starting to get down to the Highlanders and just quite easily picking back these penalties. There was basically Reds play their lineouts. There was another penalty given away. Not Josh Fluke. Crichton gets the ball. He puts a high ball through. Mitchell Hunt on the wing, like the shortest person in Super Rugby. He was up against Fluke. Fluke literally was like jumping on top of him, grabs the ball over his head, and plants the ball down for the second try for the Reds on the 28-minute mark. And then on the 32nd minute, the poor defense from the Reds, the Highlanders starts attacking. Highlanders look pretty flat, not looking like they're going to breach the Reds defense. And then it was just like literally the ball passes out to the center field. Umanga Jason gets the ball, and it was like nothing was on. Like literally nothing was on. You're expecting him just to get tackled. He just puts a foot down, runs through 3 defenders. 3 defenders. He just puts a foot down and runs through 3 defenders and scores under the sticks. Out of nowhere. It was a little bit embarrassing for the Reds fan. Like I said, just taking the foot off the gas when they're ahead. This moment exemplify that mentality there. Goes in for the first try for the Highlanders on 32nd minute. And then just before halftime, Highlander gets a penalty and takes the scoreboard to 10. So 12 points to 10 at halftime, despite 2 yellow cards against the Highlanders. The Reds actually almost had a try just before halftime themselves. McDermott, so basically Aaron Smith kicked the high ball. McDermott, so Highlanders actually recovers his high ball, and then McDermott read the pass really well. So he intercepts the pass from the recovered high ball from the Highlanders, and he runs like 60 meters to score a try. But the TMO review showed one of the Reds players actually knocked on the ball during the high ball challenge. So this was a no try. Really, really close. Second half, Hunter Paisami gets knocked out early. So that was pretty bad. He gets taken off on a stretcher. On the 45th minute, this is where TMO had to be called to check a forward pass at the line out. This was really, really bizarre. Like how the touch judge did not see this. On the 48th minute, the Reds on the receiving end of a lot of good Highlanders attack, and this is probably the first really, really good, solid string of phases the Highlanders has built all game. Reds gets penalised right in front of the goal. Highlanders kicks for 3, gets himself 1 point ahead, 12 points to 13. And he can, at this point, the Highlanders are already starting putting on their reserve players. And then you can start to see they're starting to change their gameplay into a more of a managing style. So on the 54th minute, the Reds start piling on pressure once again. Reds had some poor ball security at the breakdown, squandering 1 or 2 opportunities, but eventually the Reds gets themselves back in front of the goalpost, just pick and go, and eventually Smith goes over for a try on the 53rd minute. It looked like before, so basically this was a really weird position. It looked like one of the players had crawled on the ground, and then the final try where Smith goes over, he gets tackled, he fell on his back, but he wasn't held. He gets up and jumps over the try. So the referee said, I wanted to check if there was a double movement. They look at that where Smith was on the ground, he gets up, he wasn't held. So the TMO goes, oh, he wasn't held. But everybody saw, 2 phases prior, it looked like one of the Reds player was tackled and it was crawling on the ground. So not sure why the TMO didn't see that one. So again, really, really poor TMO overall here. So the Reds gets the try, 19 points to 27. 19 points to 13. And really, really poor TMO decision once again. The Landers, on the 58th minute, the Landers gets themselves in a good position. McRae working really hard on the breakdown, stopping the Landers' attack, but the Reds would not have to get themselves out of trouble with their clearance kick. So Landers gets another opportunity on the 60th minute. On the 60th minute, this is what I was talking about. Fakatava, just really quick balls. He's directing traffic, and then he recognizes that there was an opportunity near the breakdown. The defense of the breakdown was missing. Pick and go under the sticks. Try on the 65th. Sorry, this isn't. Sorry. Fakatava recognizes that there was only one defender by the ruck. He runs side, draws the defender away, and then he flicks the ball back in field to Gregory, who was running in from the blind side, goes in for the try under the sticks. This was just this flick from Fakatava, like I was saying. I couldn't, he was so damn good. The fact that he can recognize that there was one defender next to the rock and he needs to draw him away to open up the gap for Gregory. Man, this was brilliant. So he sets up this try, brilliant try on the 59th minute. 5 minutes later, on the 64th minute, the Highlanders gets a penalty that is easily kickable, I thought. They go for the try, and sure enough, this was it looked like a set piece that they've been working on they've been planning. So the ball comes in for the line out. It looked like they're setting up a maul. So all the Reds forward are committed to the maul. They just quickly take the ball out, throw the ball to the setter, number 12, crash ball. He gets tackled, and then Fakatava recognizes that the Reds forwards are not there at the breakdown because they're all drawn in the maul. This was a really quick ball. He just picks up the ball, just darts in for the try. Just super, 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 super good play by Fakatava. This was, I can't wait to see how good this guy can be in 3 years. Mark my words, I think he's going to be the best number 9 in the world in a few years time. Yeah, so this conversion was kicked 19 points to 27. And then after that, the kicking game, the Landers was able to draw the Reds into a kicking game. There was a lot of pointless kicking from the Reds with no pressure. So they squandered a few opportunities from that, and that's exactly what the Highlanders want. When the Highlanders are kicking, they were able to really control the rhythm, the timing, and was able to close out the game with some kicking. And Despite 15 minutes left on the clock, the Reds were not even able to threaten the Highlanders in the last 15 minutes. So end score 19 points to 27. And Fakatava. Very, very impressive. Let me know your thoughts about this game, guys. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Super Rugby Round 12. Cheers.